Hi everyone, it's me Leslie here with another video. Thank you so much for watching my video and thank you so much for subscribing. Today I'm doing a story time discussion to talk about compassion. So recently I was at a local nursery and I noticed these beautiful roses in a fellow shopper's cart, and I decided to comment and tell her how beautiful they were. And that got us on a small conversation which unfortunately led into kind of a disagreement. She decided to make things political, and I don't even know how everything got to where it was, but she started talking about people only flipping burgers and making $15 an hour. And essentially I just told her anybody complaining that $15 an hour is too much should go back to making $15 an hour. But I'm bringing up this example, and I'm bringing up this odd discussion that I had with someone because I think it's really important to remember to have compassion for our fellow human beings. So many times I think many of us forget that we don't all have the same set of life situations and circumstances. And we're not all coming from the same perspective and ideologies and beliefs. However, if we can just remember that we are all human beings, all here on earth, just trying to do the best we know how to do to have a decent life. If we can remember that, then perhaps we can also remember to connect with each other from a place of compassion. And so I'm making this video because I feel like the person that I spoke with wasn't coming from a place of compassion. Because if somebody's going to say flip burgers for as much as $15 an hour, if somebody's going to diminish a job, diminish somebody's work, diminish someone's livelihood to something like its most basic form, I believe in that instance we're lacking compassion if we say something like that. Because it's so important to put ourselves in each other's shoes. So we don't know why they're doing what they're doing for a living, or we don't know why they're wearing what they're wearing, or we don't know why, fill in the blank. And instead of being so cruel to each other, we should say to ourselves, what if this were me? How would I want somebody to think of my profession? What if this were me? How would I like for someone to think of me in this situation? What if it were me? What if I were the one downtrodden? What if I were the one making a low wage? What if I were the one sleeping on the street? What would I want for somebody to think of me? What would I want for somebody to do for me? How would I want someone to help me? And I think it's so easy to lose sight of having love and compassion for our fellow human, forgetting that maybe one day we will be in that position, or maybe one day someone we know or love will be in that position of not necessarily the ideal situation. How would we want somebody to treat our family members in a struggling situation? Or how would we want somebody to talk about or treat us in a situation that's not necessarily ideal? So, in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is, let's all try to come from a place of compassion, where we try to put ourselves in each other's place, in each other's places, where we try to imagine being downtrodden, or imagine coming from a situation that's not ideal. And perhaps we could say to ourselves, oh, I would never be so dumb, or I would never fall so far. But the truth is we don't know. And maybe we wouldn't, but maybe one of our loved ones would. And so let's try to be more considerate and compassionate of our fellow human. Instead of reducing people's professions or jobs or situations to something to just be disregarded and even shamed and judged, perhaps we should try to see ourselves in them before we decide to take a jab at what they're doing at this current time. Because it can always change. It can always evolve. It can always get better, worse, or stay the same. Instead of taking those jabs, imagine if it were us, or imagine if it were our loved ones struggling, or our loved ones flipping burgers to support their family, maybe to keep the lights on. Those lines at those fast food restaurants, they get long. And we're doing something, and people are doing things that are important. Serving the public. People want to buy dinner for their families. Somebody's got to help make that happen. So instead of diminishing people, diminishing their professions, diminishing what they're doing, diminishing their situations, diminishing their clothes, diminishing fill in the blank. Imagine if it were us, or imagine if it were our family, or our loved ones, or something, someone we care about. How would we feel about the comment, the not so kind comment, or not so compassionate reaction that we just gave to someone else? How would we like if that were directed towards ourselves or someone we know and love? It wouldn't feel so good. So let's all remember to practice compassion in our daily lives. Life is hard, but having compassion for ourselves and each other makes it just a little bit easier and makes us feel a little bit better about ourselves as well. And that's what I'll end today. And until next time, everyone, bye.